Welcome to Once Upon a Pandemic with myself, Yvonne Redden. And this series is all about staying positive and sharing stories through these challenging times, in particular this lockdown number 3. It's been a nightmare, and I'll be chatting to people from around the globe. At the end of this video, I'm also going to share a writing prompt for anyone looking to begin writing who just needs some kind of a starting point. And today we're going to be talking to Marguerite Penrose from County Meath. And
hello,
your anti-racism campaigner, Marguerite, Reiki Master, and you also work full-time for the HSE. Is that correct?
Well, not the HSE, a private healthcare insurance. Yeah.
Thanks, Mar, and thanks so much for your time today. I know you're on a day off.
No problem. Not at all. Thanks for inviting me on your platform. It's a great series, so happy to be on it.
Yeah, I think hopefully with the vaccines, we're all coming out of this now, but we still need to stay positive because it's still a long way down the road, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. Even with the vaccines, we're still going to have the mask for a while.
So it's like that little bit, and still a good
I know. I think the worst is over. So we've held on this long, so we just have to try and keep it. And it is very hard for people. I'm lucky in a, so to speak, I actually go out to work. So I'm kind of getting a break from the house. So that's kind of one thing that's helped me a bit. Now, although it's extremely busy, as you can imagine, in healthcare, the days are crazy busy. But that's kind of been a part of my positivity. Like being able to go to work, and a lot of people unfortunately lost their jobs or they're on COVID payments. So I'd been redundant 11 months just before COVID. I'd only started in healthcare 4 weeks before it happened. So when it happened, I was like, oh gosh, am I going to be off work again? So because I know it is very tough when you're off work and you're used to working all the time. So I definitely feel for those people as well. And people that are, compromised completely and can't go out to work. I'm compromised myself health-wise, but thankfully my job made allowances and, they moved me from one area to another in order that I could still come out to work.
Yeah,
so I didn't have
so you still have your commute and you're still your routine being more or less the same.
Exactly. It is, work-wise it is. So like I work 5 days a week. So that kind of keeps me going. And because our clinic is open every day of the year, 7 days a week, I'm on a rolling roster. So I work weekends, I work midweek. So it kind of changes all the time. So during these times, it's actually been grand, so it has kept me going. So definitely.
Have they done anything different in your job, like in relation?
Yeah, it's all completely changed. Ours was a walk-in clinic. So if you had an injury or whatever like that and an illness, you could just rock up if you were health insured. Not anymore, unfortunately. So that's how I actually ended up moving position, because they needed somebody to manage the bookings and do all that type of thing. So I was lucky enough chosen. Myself and a few others to help out in this area. So I'm now actually full-time in that department now. So we've set up like a call center. So we do all the bookings for our 4 clinics, and every day is busy. And the whole clinic structure, I presume, like all medical centers, have to change. So if you have an illness, you get a doctor call back first, which is brilliant. So it means we're not dragging people out into a clinic when they don't have to. So they get a prescription then to their local pharmacy. And then if they have an injury, we deal a lot with fractures and breaks and, injuries, every sort of, like gardening injuries are huge, walking, dog bites, all that type of thing. So they can come into the clinic. So they're screened beforehand, they're screened at the door. So we kind of just had to change it just to accommodate everybody that wants
different kind of injuries. It's funny that you say it's all outdoor, isn't it? It's
a lot. People that maybe would have gone for a short walk are now up to their 5, all the 5Ks, hiking, all this. Like people are doing amazing things. The amount of patients that I talk to. Yes, I'd die. I wouldn't be able. I'm too much
very cold again, the water. I got in at the weekend.
I see yours. You're brilliant. Yeah, a few friends of mine do it, and I've such admiration for you guys. It's not easy, but it looks really invigorating, I heard, and especially in a meditation sort of sense, because I'm so much into meditation. Feeling good and getting the endorphins going. I'd love to be able to do it, but if I stuck my toe
warmer, I say when I'm swimming around, I get in my head. It's actually I don't know what it is, but it makes my creative mind start.
That's amazing.
Even more.
It gives you clarity.
Yes, it does. For sure. And listen, is there a daily routine that you do to stay positive, or is there a mantra? I know you love your
Yeah,
meditation.
I do. I love mantra meditation, so
Yeah,
which is repetitive meditations. I also love like the guided YouTube videos.
yeah,
You know, the Calm app, that's very, very
brilliant.
good.
Yeah,
I also just do my own type of meditation, you know, your breathing. Breathing's brilliant and it's so easy for anybody to do.
yeah,
I would do kind of my mantras maybe even when I'm driving, you know, that way.
yeah,
But at night time, I love to do mine at night before I go to sleep because it sends me off
yeah,
to sleep. So I'd have a very busy brain, always thinking, always, you
yeah,
know, oh, you know, some people are just heavy thinkers. That
yeah,
would be me. So I find the meditation is great for that. So I'd be a big fan of guided meditations because people think you have to shut off your brain completely in order to meditate. Now, most people can't do that unless they're a monk and have trained for years to do it. So the guided meditations is someone speaking to you. So
okay,
what I do is go onto YouTube or whatever app you have,
yeah,
find a voice that suits your head. So
yeah,
some people will be like, oh no, I don't, that voice doesn't go into
yeah,
my head properly. So find what you like. I've saved loads and
yeah.
then I just play them at night time before bed. And
And
so
how long
that's what
would you
I
play it
find.
for, Marguerite? Like, would you do it just on a
Uh,
like
I
what?
could do it for, it might be half an hour, it might be 2 hours.
Mm,
It just depends. On a day off like this, I might take like an hour out, stick on the old earphones, lie on the bed, and do a guided
just
meditation
give it
as
a
well.
try. My mind never stops either. I'm a bit like you.
Yeah, I know. And you know what? Loads of people are guilty of that. And I know people that don't have that type of mind are like, oh, so just, you know,
They can
stop
switch
thinking
off.
about it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but you can't. That's like saying
yeah,
stop breathing, you
yeah,
know. So
yeah.
well, I think you just need to find what works for you. Like
Mm,
I do Reiki and all that. I would do Reiki on myself, which is great.
yeah,
So like some people find coloring really relaxing, you know.
yeah,
Like my mom and my sister are really, really creative. So they would crochet, they would knit, whatever you find, jigsaws,
yeah.
Sudoku. A
Mm,
crossword is amazing because
yeah,
you're also using your brain, but you're
yeah.
also switched off from your normal,
Mm,
oh, worrying about, oh God, I didn't do this or
mm.
I didn't do that. And I should have done is a lot of
Get
things
rid of
that
that
we're all
word.
guilty of.
I hate that word. Get rid of it.
I know it's terrible, isn't it? And you know what? We're all guilty of it. It's just trying to, I
Yeah.
suppose, watching the language that we use ourselves. I have a big thing at the moment, and I've probably spoken about it before. People using the word like, oh, it's unbelievable, you know.
You said that to
So,
me, and unreal.
yeah, yeah,
Unreal is another one.
unreal. Yeah.
Oh,
So they're actually negative words. So
yeah, I know.
try and, you know, when I'm doing my meditation classes with people that would come to me, or I do a few of my parents' neighbors, and my parents are big into meditation now as well. So I would say, you know, use better words like amazing
Yeah,
or
yeah.
gorgeous, you
Powerful.
know.
Yeah.
So exactly. So it's the small things, but
Mm,
everybody has a different way of relaxing. And it's not saying that one way is better than the other. Some people like to work out.
yeah,
A lot of my friends would cycle, walk, swim is the
yeah,
biggest one, I
yeah.
suppose, as well.
Mm,
Loads of those 5K people, which is brilliant, or even doing more. You know, the 100 days of walking
yeah,
was
seen that.
huge. You
Yeah,
saw on social media and things.
yeah,
Photography,
yeah, yeah,
whatever suits. It doesn't have to be you in a room with all the, you know, blinds closed and, you know, chanting. That's not what
no.
meditation is for
Everyone has to
everybody.
find their own unique way of
That's it.
relaxing.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
I
And I
know
think
you
it's
love all
important.
quotations as well.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I'm famous
and
for the
I
quotations.
know,
So.
and I love them. Is there a favorite one that you have?
I
There's a many,
suppose
isn't
what
there?
I use a lot. There are so many. I suppose feel the fear, but do it anyway.
Yeah,
Is a good one because we all are, especially when it comes to change and things that we want to change in our lives. So we're like, oh, I'd love to do that, but I'm afraid I'll fail at it, or I'm
yeah,
afraid, you know. But you know, trying something new is amazing. So if you can feel that fear and get on with it, it's
yeah.
absolutely brilliant
But
for
I
you.
think that
But
comes with age as well, Marguerite. I think as you get
it
older,
does.
you go,
You're right.
I don't care, I'm doing this, and that's
I
it.
know. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're less self-conscious a
yeah,
bit. I
mm,
would have been always quite
yeah,
self-conscious myself. I'd come across as a very outgoing person.
mhm,
Underneath it, I wouldn't be. I think we all learn our own tricks
yeah,
to kind of mask all the things about ourselves. So
mm,
I'm trying to be, and especially now on being invited onto the Likes Yourselves platform and
yeah,
kind of the public speaking I've been doing lately and the interviews, it's really helped me
yeah,
come out and
yeah,
speak, you know, and
yeah,
know that it's okay to lend
yeah,
your voice. You know, I have a small voice in a big world, but if everybody does something small, it's a big help.
mm,
I'm delighted to be doing this now, and just actively talking about any issues, whatever
Yeah,
that
yeah.
comes up to mind. I've,
Well,
as
there's
you
so
said,
many
women,
series and podcasts that's come
yeah,
out of the pandemic,
huge.
hasn't it?
Yeah,
There's huge.
there
Yeah,
can never be too many podcasts.
I don't think so.
Everybody
Yeah,
has a
I
different
agree.
story.
Yeah, everyone has
Isn't it
different things
great?
to share. One
Even
thing
like
I've
the
done,
cooking ones,
yeah,
yeah, cooking's, poetry. There's the book clubs on podcasts. I think it's all amazing. It's bringing people together, and that's what I
yeah.
think is the big connection is
The
huge.
community feeling, isn't it? I know what I've
Exactly,
done.
definitely.
I haven't
Yeah,
read a book in years. I mean, it's very difficult with
I
young
know I'm
kids.
terrible as
But
well.
I love
Yeah,
my books, and it takes me months to read one book. But
yeah,
I have bought that many books the last while, and I have
yeah,
them beside my bed, piled up, and I keep going, right, I'm
yeah.
going to read. I'm
I
reading
know.
Cecilia Hearn's Roar, which is like
Oh
short
yeah,
stories. It's very unusual, and
yeah,
I seem to be drawn to like the Secret and the
yes.
Gift. Have you heard of the Gift?
I
Yeah.
have, yeah.
So
I
this
have a
is my
few
next
books
one.
like that myself, and do you know what? I think it's all right to dip in and out.
Yeah,
I used to be a huge reader when I was younger. I'd read 5 and 6 books a week. I'm
yeah,
absolutely atrocious these days, but
yeah,
I do have loads of books. So some evenings, like yourself, or during the day, if I have a bit of time, if I'm off, I'll actually just read and read a few pages, a few quotes. The Secret's great
yeah.
because there's loads of different quotes. I'd love that short stories one seems good too because you're not reading a whole book. Do you know what I
That's
mean?
what I
So,
like about
yeah,
anthologies. Yeah. And it's
yeah,
very
exactly.
different. She writes, it's very unusual. I might
Yeah,
even
I'll
actually
definitely
read
check
out
that
some of
out.
the chapters on a video
Ooh,
or
yeah,
something
brilliant.
because they're different. And I
Yeah,
think when someone reads it, it sounds different. They're short,
absolutely.
10
Yeah.
pages or something. So it's not much. It's very
No,
interesting.
yeah.
I like Cecilia stuff. But so I know our connection was through adoption. Both of us have adoption stories. And I know you feel strongly about the mother and baby home. Earlier on this year, all the stories was horrendous. I mean, why do you feel so strongly about it?
I lost you there, Yvonne. Sorry, I couldn't
Did
hear the
you?
sound went. Yeah.
Okay. I was saying, I know you feel so strongly about the mother and baby home story. Why do you
Yes.
feel so strongly about it, Marguerite?
Well, as probably a lot of people might know by now, I was actually spent the first 3 years of my life in a mother and baby home. It was St. Patrick's on the Navan Road in Dublin. My biological mum, when she had me in hospital, I went straight there from hospital and into St. Patrick's. So obviously, it's very close to my heart. It's something that I've lived with all my life. Thankfully, I have an amazing family here that have looked after me all through the years, friends included,
Yeah,
cousins, everybody. I have a lovely mum and dad, Nolene and Michael, and my lovely sister Kira.
yeah. I think it's your
So
birthday today, actually, isn't it?
it's my sister's birthday. Yeah, happy birthday, Kira.
Yay.
She'll be delighted with that little shout out. But yeah, so it's something very close. Also, just the injustice of everything that's happened about mother and babies, the homes, everything about the mothers, I think as well. It's the stories that really got to me. I
Mm,
didn't realize, I suppose, how badly affected I was until just after the report, and we were hearing the stories before the report was actually published.
yeah,
Thankfully, I'm part of the report, so even the process of going in and getting interviewed, I took that in my stride. I went in, did my interview, chatted, felt everything went good,
mm,
and I was as honest as I could. For me, I was an infant. I don't remember. I think I've one memory of the place.
yeah,
So the trauma for me is not the same for others.
yeah,
But now I find the trauma hit me when I was hearing maybe what my mother had to go through.
yeah,
And the stories, but most of all for us all these adoptees like myself, who we
mm,
can't get any information. When we do get information, it's years to get there. There's cover-ups. Your information is redacted, so there's big black lines through it, so you can't even read it.
yeah,
Trying to trace biological family is really, really hard. That's something that I'm kind of dipping into now at the moment. So there's a lot of issues, but I
yeah,
think mostly the thing that gets me is nobody is held accountable for it. Even after this big mother and baby investigation, the commission, what did it prove? Nothing. All it proved really was our stories. But
mm,
then again, even some of the stories we were told, like, oh, there was no racial bias, which is completely incorrect.
yeah,
We weren't segregated. Like, I have congenital scoliosis. So that was part of it. So if you had like a disability, you were also segregated into a different room, seemingly. Obviously, being black or mixed race or a person of color, whatever term you like to use yourself,
yeah,
that would have been another thing against myself. So it's all these prejudices, but really what gets me is the lack of nobody is held accountable. Now, I
Yeah,
know
I
a lot of
think a
people
lot
would
of these
probably
things
deny
are
it,
great,
but
but you know,
yeah,
a lot of these things, it takes nearly
yeah,
10, 20 years before
yeah,
anything to
yeah,
be resolved. And I think this is going to be
yeah.
another one of these reports that it will take a long, long time.
Yeah, definitely. But like, this isn't the first time that this has been
No,
exposed. So we're already 20 years into
yeah.
things that were exposed 20 years ago.
Mm,
So it's definitely a lot more, like in my lifetime, like I'm in late 40s now, but I'm just thinking as well of people that are older than myself, people that are no longer with us and never got an answer,
yeah, yeah.
I'm not 100% convinced I'm ever going to get all the answers because judging by what's happened now, we're not.
Mm,
And it's about being believed as well, which is terrible. And also the vaccinations, that were carried out on a lot of us during the times. So I was 3 years, as I was saying, in
yeah.
St. Patrick's. And on definitely two of the dates of the trial vaccinations, I'm in St. Patrick's for two of those dates. So I don't know whether you heard there recently in the media again. So GlaxoSmithKline have said that they won't be investigating or they won't be doing any compensation for anybody that was trial vaccinated, shall we say. So that's another upset. So,
Mm,
but you just have to keep fighting. There's loads of us out there.
yeah.
So I suppose it's just lending my voice as well to say that
Mm,
we're not going to go away. It's something I'm working on. I don't do it full time because I'm working, but I do as much as I can. I
mm,
get involved in as many meetings,
yeah.
as many groups that I can do, and
Mm,
trying to just make things a little bit easier
mm.
for people. So it is very hard, and it's hard
Sharing
for
their
the likes of
stories.
everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Look at the
yeah, and
more
it's hard for
stories we
people to
share and the
understand.
more,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
isn't it? The more information out there.
That's it. Well, they can't deny everything, If there's
Exactly.
people coming out, if there's thousands of people coming out saying, "Well, no, sorry, this actually happened to me." We,
Yeah.
we can't. They can't turn around and say, "Well, that's not the truth," which
Mm,
is kind of what they are doing, So, I'm hoping that the government this time are going to actually put in some action. It's taken time. The report came out some months ago, and we haven't really had much. They set up a submissions group to do like a different kind of independent, I suppose, case and look at anybody that was part of the Mother and Baby Commission.
yeah.
So, but for me, that hasn't been very successful yet. I'm
Mm,
still waiting. I sent out my email on the first day. The submission is closed. They've had meetings already
yeah.
that they forgot to email me and tell me about.
Okay.
So yeah,
I
so
feel
it's a little
great.
bit disheartening, but we have to keep fighting, and I suppose that's the main thing is to keep up the fight for everybody, not
Yeah,
just
and you're a
ourselves.
big voice in it all,
Oh,
Marguerite. I
thank
mean,
you.
where can people find you if they want to contact you?
Yeah, sure. I suppose the biggest place would be my Instagram. So it's just at Magsy Malou. And I'm also on Twitter as well. So, but Instagram is probably the one that I use the most. So I put up my posts, my positivity posts.
Yeah,
And I'd stopped doing it for a while and people were messaging me saying, "Where's your post?" I look forward to it. And I was like, "Oh, okay, people actually like these."
they
So
missed
I
them.
just kind of, yeah, they did, which was nice. And you know what? They're for me as well. But
Yeah,
I just, search until I find something that I'm like, "Oh, this one would be good for today."
yeah.
So sometimes it takes an hour to find one post,
Yeah.
or otherwise
You know,
sometimes it takes me
sometimes you're having
two seconds.
a bad day and then you go on
to
Instagram
see
or something and
something.
then you see something, it's like, oh,
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah,
I'm okay. It just
exactly,
gives you a boost,
exactly.
that's what I
It,
think.
it definitely does. And, like I think just do what feels good to
Yeah,
you. You're always going to be open to criticism. We're all
yeah,
critiques, much as we don't like to think of ourselves are. So it's probably like we're all judgmental.
yeah.
So try not to judge people. If there's an Instagram post you don't like, that's fine.
Just
We're
scroll
not
on, move past it.
exactly. Don't be writing nasty things,
I
just
know.
move on by. Exactly. That's it. Everybody's trying to do their little piece.
They
And I
are,
think
yeah.
it's so great. Like I've a much newfound respect, I think, for influencers, what they go through, everything is critiqued, from their skin to what they said to,
Yeah.
the products they're selling, they're right there doing their best. So try and give everybody a little bit of space
I
to
think
do what
the
they
more
want to
the big
do.
message really is just to be kind, isn't it, Marguerite?
Kindness, yeah,
That's
kindness
it.
is huge, yeah, and love, love is the greatest force in the world,
Mm,
so just trying to share that with people, not as in I love you, but
no.
doing things from your heart
I mean, you
as
do your
well,
stuff and I do mine, and that's how we try
yeah,
and spread what we
exactly,
believe in. And listen, can I
yeah,
ask you something as well? I ask all my guests, if you were
yeah,
to write your memoir title in 3 to 4 words, what would it be?
yeah.
What would it be?
um I heard a great saying, one of the nurses down in Cork, Lisa, she's lovely, and she's always saying, I'm mighty. So I think mine would be small but mighty.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah.
So many. I like I am as well. It's
Yeah.
very big in the meditation world. It has such a connotation to it, you know. So
Yeah.
I am, so makes you, it's standing in your own power.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's so many, isn't there? So
There is.
maybe I get somebody else to name it.
No.
Of, you know,
It's
their vision
I've
of
had
me,
such a variety of answers. It's brilliant.
Did you? Yeah.
Let's do a post on it all. Yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah, that would be great, actually. Yeah, I think you change your mind as well all the time. I know I would. I'm terrible.
Yeah. And for people watching today, my point is I kind of link it into what we're talking about. So because we're talking about quotations, why not try and write one of your own? And I always say this to you as well, write your own quotations.
I know. I do. Even just sometimes.
A sentence or two is plenty, and just see what comes to mind. So that's the writing prompt for today. So,
great.
And listen, Marguerite, I won't keep you. I know your day off is precious. Thanks very much.
Thank you. And it was lovely to talk to you, Yvonne. Thanks a million for the opportunity.
You're welcome. And thanks for being part of this series, and stay safe. And
you too. Take care of yourself.
Thank you. If anyone wants to contact me, they can contact me on www.yvonneredden.com or across social media platforms. And see you all next time on Once Upon a Pandemic. Bye for now. Thanks, Marguerite.
Bye. Thank you. See you.